So how much money are you guys doing a month?
We have collected $175,000 this month, and we're on pace to do $200,000 this month.
Right. And you are the COO. You're the guy that kind of oversees everything.
Yeah.
But you started off not that long ago, bro, as a rapper.
Yeah.
Who discovered, well, tell me.
I got rich. I got so rich. I made so much money, like I didn't understand what to do with it.
Right.
And then I got really depressed. I was like, whoa, I got so much money, I don't know what to do with it. And then I realized my life had no meaning. And so I started letting it go. I told the universe, listen, I don't want it like this. I want to work for it. I want to earn it.
And what brought you into business? Because the jump from rapper to random online business guy is quite funny to me.
I went through everything. Right. I did the coding, right? I did the drop shipping. I launched my own t-shirt company. I did the Forex, lost a ton of money there. Right. I failed at everything. And so I was just, progressively going down the entrepreneurial
Taking it
journey,
off the list, bro.
Not this. And copywriting was the last one on the list, right? And so I tried it out. I went on YouTube. I said, how to make money online. Matthew Morgan popped up and said, what you need to do, you need to start copywriting. And I just filled a short little loom here. I'm going to shoot it over to you. You can get started right away. Join my Skool community. And I said, screw it. And I bought the program right away. I'm the easiest close in the world, $2,500. Immediately started texting other people in the group, like, how much did you spend? I spent 25. Is that what they're charging you? Right. But interacted in the Skool community. I love the interaction. Right. I started becoming friends with all these people. We were jumping on Zooms and studying together. I showed up to every single call that they offered, and they noticed that, right? Just showing up in the Skool community. I got to the top of the leaderboard. And then when an opportunity came across Matthew Morgan's desk, when Ted Carr said, yo, dude, I need a DM setter to handle my DMs. Matthew Morgan said, oh, I know just the guy. And we hopped on a call, and he said, do you know how to DM set? I said, no. And then Matthew said, he's good. Ted says, okay, cool, you're hired.
So a random guy that I know from Northern Ireland, you saw his YouTube video, you joined his Skool community, you learned how to copyright, you showed you were a good student, you did everything you're supposed to, you engaged in the community, and then now you have an opportunity to be a DM setter for a guy called Ted Carr. Yeah,
didn't know who he was. I looked him up on Instagram. He was shirtless, shredded, and only ate fruit. Okay, we can make this work.
So you hop in. And this is what I think is really interesting because you've walked the walk. So I just kind of want to go through the rest of your journey, how you've risen to where you are now. And then we can kind of go back and reverse engineer how people can build a team like this for themselves. So you start working with Ted. What happens?
Yeah, I started working with Ted January 1st of 2023. And I just start running the DMs. I run his Instagram DMs. I run his Skool DMs. I run his Facebook DMs. And I'm just doing the classic, answering messages, asking if it would be useful to jump on a call. They say yes. Ted actually said he was going away on vacation the day I started. And he said, when I come back, I'll train you how to take discovery calls. By the time he came back, I had already had 10 discovery calls. I couldn't wait. So I was doing the DMs, and then I was having discovery calls. I'd chat with them and qualify them on a 15-minute call. And then I would send them to Big Dog Nate, and he was the closer. And so I just ran that for 4 months. And I'd worked 10-hour days, right? I was just on 7 days a week, just grinding it out because there's so many messages and so many discovery calls to take. And then it got to a point where there were so many discovery calls and so many sales calls that Nate's calendar was flooded. And I said, well, we got to help these people. We can't just turn away these people, right? And so Ted said, all right, let me show you how to close and read this script. And just started reading the script and getting in front of these people. And so the next 4 months I was closing. And then Nate and I were closing. So now we're 8 months in. We had scaled from $30,000 a month to $80,000 a month. And I was doing the DMing. I was doing the discovery calling. I was doing the closing. I was also doing support, right? Making sure the customers had everything that they need. I was doing all of the freebie design. So making sure all the freebies were good, the funnels were good. I was just handling pretty much everything, right? Other than the coaches doing the deliverables. And then it got to the point again where we couldn't fulfill what we were trying to do. Like there were still more people that wanted to buy our program than I could sell in a day. And that's when Ted told me, he said, listen, dude, you need to hire somebody. I said, screw that. Hire somebody? that means I'm going to make less money.
Yeah, you're like, dude, I'm Benny D.
Yeah.
I got this, bro.
I got this. No worries, Ted.
And I love how you were like, dude, we got to help more people. I literally just heard how my brain interpreted that as, dude, who's going to carry the boats?
Yeah, who's
going to close these people, bro?
in the logs, man. Yes.
But this is interesting because you experience what most business owners and school community owners listening to this feel. They're like, no, I can't get someone else to do the thing because I'm the man.
Yeah, I was terrified.
No one can do DMs like me. No one can take discovery calls like me. No one can do closing calls like me. Mm-hmm. So how did you get over yourself?
Yeah, I completely agreed. I told Ted, I said, nobody can do DMs like me. Nobody can do discoveries like me. Nobody can do sales like me. I'm Benny D. And who are we going to find that could do what I do? He's like, bro, I just showed you how to do this. Right? Like, I just showed you.
Yeah, it's like, bro, our first call, you said you don't know how to do nothing.
8 months in, you're doing it perfectly. So if you say that you can help people, well, if you're a coach somebody. Damn. Coach the team, right? Train somebody and treat somebody so well that they can leave, but treat them and love them so that they don't want to. Mm. And so we were so worried that we were going to bring somebody on and one, we would make less money, and two, they would leave. But the reality is if they're going to leave, they're going to leave. But you don't want to have somebody on the team that's not trained that can't leave just because they're terrible. So we said, okay. I watched Dan Sullivan's 10X is easier than 2X, Who Not How. And I pulled my big boy pants up and I said, okay, I'm going to delegate. And that's how we found him on. And that's the trick. And the main trick to finding somebody really, really good. Like the best way if you want to hire somebody right away that is in line with the team culture is hiring from referral, like Ted did with me, or hiring from your community, right? Because if you get somebody who's watching and following you for 10 years, consuming your content, they're already a lot like you. They share the same ideals. So with this guy, it was a referral, funny enough, by Matthew Morgan. Yeah. And we grabbed him on and we put him in on the DMs, and immediately we went from 80K to 100K months. Yeah. And the funniest thing happened, we all made more money. Yeah. We all made more money, but our time freed up exponentially. And that was the second phase, I would say, in the business journey of going from just doing the fulfillment all myself to then delegating and focusing on the two highest leverage activities for me, which were closing and then fulfillment on the back end, making sure the clients all have what they need, which were my favorite things to do. And then I delegated all the things I didn't want to do and made more money.
The zone of genius, bro.
It was amazing.
Yeah. But it's really interesting because I think before someone makes their first hire, they have in their heads like, dude, I got to hire someone. And they imagine, like, if you take it to the old school extreme example, like, dude, I have to put a random ad out in the newspaper and all these weirdos are going to apply. Or it's like, I'm going to have to put a post up on LinkedIn. I'm going to have to post like on some random job forum thing and all these like random dudes, or it's even something like Upwork. But what you just described is you use, the community as a filter, or you use the people that you know as a filter. Yeah. So in Ted's case, he had Matt Morgan who's doing both. So he filtered people for their ability. Really, he was filtering for work ethic. It was copywriting, but it's like, how hard do these guys work? And in the school leaderboard also was like a filter.
Huge. Yeah. Such a trick. If you're on the top of the school leaderboard, it's like people are looking at you. Yeah. Every time you're in the home page, the leaderboard's right there. So if I'm reading a comment from somebody and their name's on the leaderboard, I am much more prone to listen to them. Like, oh, look, the credibility right there.
Yeah,
okay.
And you're also a giver if you're contributing in a healthy way in those communities.
Big time.
Interesting. Okay, so you start to bring other people on. Every person you add, it's like, boom, you unlock a lot more revenue, you unlock a lot more opportunity.
It's like Lord of the Rings, dude. We are collecting characters along the way, and every single character was so powerful in their own way. Yeah.
Crazy.
Like family. They're absolute family. That's what's so cool about our team, and that's what most people say is, we love each other. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest parts about hiring, and that's my job now, is transparency. Like the first thing that I do with our new hires is I go, dude, what do you need to make to survive? Mm-hmm. Let's just see if we can even make you that amount of money. I'm not having you work for 2 months and not be able to make money to pay your rent or take care of your kids. So I can tell you right now, if you can make that happen. Okay, you can make enough money to survive here? Awesome. What's your dream? How much money do you want to make in the future? What do you want your day-to-day life to look like? Right? And they go, I want this, this, and this. Okay, how much will that cost a month? Oh, I need 10K. Okay, you can't make 10K right now, right? With 10% commission, because we would need to be doing 500K a month. But I'll tell you this, we did 30K last year. Now we're doing 100K a month, and now we're doing 175K. And the next year we're going to be doing 500K. Can you stay until we hit 500K? Yeah, I'm willing to grow with you. Okay. So these honest and uncomfortable conversations make the camaraderie so beautiful. Right. And we do the monthly check-ins. We do the weekly check-ins of how are you? Are you getting what you need? Are you getting the training? Are you getting the love? How's your life at home? How's your mom? How's your dad? I feel like so many CEOs don't ask these questions. They just expect the people to work and work and work. And if they're not getting results, they go, what's wrong with the person? They're humans, right? They're humans. They could be having a bad day. They could be having a bad week. Their mom could be sick. So we are big on transparency and just spreading that love and holding space for each other.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the first few hires that people make, it's likely that they're not going to find a Benny D on the first hire.
You could get lucky. Right? Manifest.
It's unlikely that you are equipped as a leader, manager to even know what to do.
That's such a good point, right? Do you think that most people who are starting out have the ability to train that level of a person?
Bro, I just started a Skool Community. I'm making $7K a month. I'm a chess player. Yeah. You're expecting me to train someone to do DMs?
Yeah.
Bro, I don't even know how to do DMs.
Yeah. So you can't expect to have a high level caliber person with all of this potential come to you, because the teacher appears when the student is ready. Mm-hmm. If you're not the teacher, the student is not going to appear, not that level. So I was just talking with a client, right? And he was like, man, I feel like there's other people on Skool that can teach better than me. I said, how many hours have you taught? Like 5? Like, dude, go teach. And then you'll get better students, and then you'll be a better teacher. So it's the same thing with hiring. It's like, dude, you're not probably going to get a Benny D if you're just starting out, because you can't lead a Benny D and you can't tap his full potential. Mm-hmm. But you can definitely find somebody. If you're at a level 5, you can find somebody at a level 3 and a level 4, and you can bring them to a level 5. And while you get to that level 5, you're also getting to level 6, and then you just bring them. We talk about this all the time, right? It's that ladder.
Yep.
And I am fully happy being underneath Ted Carr, because who's above Ted Carr? Sam Ovens, Alex Hormozy, right? So like, this is a ladder I want to be on. Yeah. I'm happy. So when you understand where you are in the ladder and you have mentors, if you're a creator, you must have mentors, then understand that people above you and people below you, you're going to get people who are below you in skill that you need to bring up the ladder while you go up the ladder. That's okay.
Yeah. So that first hire, like someone... Let's talk about someone who's never made that first hire before, right? And they're in pain. Exactly the same way you were internally with the team. I can't do it all. I come to you, I'm like, Benny, I'll stick with my chess example, because why not? We both love chess.
Love chess.
I started this chess community. I'm making $7K a month, and I'm just getting totally slammed right now. Let's just stick with the DMs. What do I do? How do I find someone who could do something like that for me?
Amazing question. And this is what's so cool, is paying commission. So there's no baseline. So I would, if it's 7K, I would look for somebody who wants to make $700 to $1,000 a month, right? If you're paying 10%, that's $700 in the DMs. And probably if they run your DMs, they'll do it better than you, because they're going to only do that. So they'll make $1,000 to $1,500 their first month. And I would look and I would message my friends. I'd say, yo, I know you guys are business owners. Do you have anybody who's young and hungry who wants to be a closer or a DM setter, right? Because closers will often set themselves in a DM position if there's room to grow. And I'll start taking referrals. If I don't get anybody cool from a referral, I jump with those people immediately. I'm like, all right, let's talk. Get on a call. I will post in my community, or I'll go into other communities and I'll post, right? I'm looking for somebody who wants to run the DMs. And I just start jumping on calls from my community, from communities where they say it's okay to post if you want to find somebody, and referrals. Those are the 3 best places to find.
Okay, cool. So Benny, I now have 3 people who I'm going to meet on Zoom later today. One's from my community, one's through referral, and one's through like a random place that I just found this person. What should I look for whenever I'm talking to these people?
Ooh, Alex Hormozy says you want to hire somebody. Your first hire should be somebody with a hole in their heart, a hunger in their heart that can never be filled. It's kind of intense. But if you want somebody like that crazy, there's a hole in their heart that can never be filled. So you want somebody with those eyes who are like, yes, let me off the leash. I'm going to go crazy. What I would say is find somebody who's you 4 years ago. Find somebody who's you, who want to be in the position that you are in now. And now you can let them loose. They're a kid in the candy shop. Look, this is what you want in 4 years, right? I already built it. Here, I'll show you how to run it. Come on in. If you feel the vibe that this person is like you 4 years ago, then that's the person.
Bro, the reason why I have chills right now is one of my core values is be who you needed when you were younger. And so the fact that you can actually also give someone like you an opportunity that you wish you had, not only do you get the perfect candidate, but you also just have done something really, really cool that makes you feel good.
Can I be real right now?
Do it.
Ted Carr is exactly who I needed. Ted Carr is exactly who I needed in my life, exactly when I found him. And he's like that for a lot of people, but he was for me what I am now for our team, right? And he showed me how to get to that next level I would not have found by myself. And now these young men underneath me, I am who they needed. Yeah. And Ted was what I needed. And so you're giving me chills.
It's back to that Belfast mastermind, bro. Free people, free people.
Free people, free people.
Yeah, you give someone a shot of freedom, and then you can be the one that gives that to the next person.
Yeah.
That's the real pyramid scheme.
Yes.
That's the real MLM, bro.
Yeah.
So before Ted was that person, like, what were you feeling?
Oh, man, I was so lost. I was so lost because there's no entrepreneurs around you. For most people, me especially, there are no entrepreneurs around me. So I have all these visions of grandeur and wants and needs that people said were outlandish. They said, you can never achieve that. Nobody in your family's ever done that. Nobody around you's done that. You're a waiter. You're a musician with no subscribers. You're nothing. And so I had all of these dreams and unrealistic desires that I knew I could do, but everybody said I was crazy. And then I met Ted, and he's like, yeah, of course you can do that. Let's do it now. Like, get on call. Let's build it. And that changed everything. And that's what Skool does for me every single day. It's a place where people can jump on and say, like, this is what I want to do. And there's somebody that's done it. And so that's the culture that we love. There's no, you can't do it. Like, set something that is so unrealistic. We have our team every single month update their life script. And at the beginning of this year, everybody put a number on that life script, monthly income, shape, like physical shape, wife, whatever it is. Every single one of them hit all their goals. And they were like outlandish numbers, right? They were like, when they came on, Amon was making like $1,000 when he first started. He's making more money than he's ever made in his entire life. He's like, dude, I thought this was like a 10-year goal. I need to write a new one. So that's what I needed. And that's what the culture that we have here is, okay, yeah, set something unreasonable and let's make it reasonable.
Yeah. And that's the reframe, because like I've been there, you've been there, before you make that first hire, before you take that risk.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, what if no one wants it?
Yeah.
And the reframe is, bro, there's so many hungry people who want it. And the proof is, dude, you were so hungry and you wanted it.
Yeah, we're not that special. We're not that unique. The visions aren't that unique. Like everybody, a large majority of people on the planet have this vision. So there's people who want it.
Dude, Benny, I talked to those three people. Two of them, forget about it. There's just one guy. He just reminds me of myself, totally. I've no, like, how do I onboard this guy? How do I get started? I've never managed someone before. Like, what do I actually do after this first call?
Awesome. Great question. I take him to work with me, right? I treat him like a kid. So I say, jump on Zoom. I'm going to have you shadow me for the entire day, right? We'll jump on. We'll go for like an hour and I'll just handle all the DMs and I'll show him and I'll tell him what I'm thinking as I'm going through it. That'll be the first day. And then the second day I go, okay, now you start doing it. And I'll watch him go through it. He'll usually take some very frictiony way that makes it take way longer than it needs to. I'm like, well, have you thought about doing it like this? Oh, yeah. What about if you did it like this? Oh, yeah. I watch him do it, and now he's right. He's on the bike. He's pedaling. Like, awesome. Then I say, okay, you finish off. I'm gonna come on tomorrow. Let's do it again. And I would check in with him, and I would check in with him, and I would get on these calls consistently, like probably 7 days a week for the first week, until He's like, no, I got this. I'm taking the training wheels off. And then I would just let him rock. And every single week, once a week, I would review his DMs and make sure that everything is running the way that it should. He would message me with questions, probably, 4 times a week. I'd tell him, hit me up whenever you need anything. Eventually, what's great about DM setting, it's a skill you can master relatively easily. You only need maybe 500,000 hours max. So it gets to a point where there's not much to review. It's like, okay, you get it. Just stay at this level. And that's it. Then you can move on to whatever's next.
Yeah, because that's the interesting thing whenever it comes to, who was it? I heard someone speak recently in Belfast. Jack Daly. He's like an old school sales guy.
Yeah.
And he was like challenging like someone in the audience. How many objections are there for your product?
Like 8.
Dude, so the guy was like, dude, I've like thousands. And Jack was like, bro, are you serious right now? You think there's 1,000 objections to why someone wouldn't buy your product? He goes, easily. He goes, I want you to go and write down all the things you can possibly think of and come back to me. The guy came back. He was like, I think there's 12. And then, so he's like, cool. You just need to, like, these are 12 objections that you can trim. And same with DMs. It's like, there are basically only like 4 to 8 conversations you can have with somebody.
Yeah. 1 billion% you're right. That's it. And if you just know the answers, like we have at the bottom of our sales script, the 8 objections that we're going to get.
Wow.
So if they give us an objection, we just scroll down and we read that. And they're like, oh, that's perfect. Solve that problem.
Crazy. Yeah. So first, you would get that person to watch you do the thing.
Yeah, monkey
then
see.
You would watch them doing the thing.
Yeah, monkey do.
And then they would do it themselves.
Monkey's a goat.
And then you would review what they've done on a regular basis.
On a regular basis.
And give them access to you for any troubleshooting along the way. That sounds reasonable. I think I could do that,
reasonable.
Benny.
Yeah, I think we can do it.
Okay, so now it's me and let's say it's Bobby. Me and Bobby.
Shout out Bobby.
We're crushing it, dude. My chess community. Dude, we've just hit 13K a month. This is huge. I got a rocket emoji on Skool. Hey. I didn't imagine it to be anything like this. And now Bobby's getting slammed. Like Bobby can't handle all the DMs himself. I'm struggling to do all the discovery calls. Like, what do we do next?
You need Bobby Jr. So if we have a DM setter and we have a discovery caller, we would just bring in more people. So let's say you have yourself, which is doing the fulfillment, right? You're working with the clients. You have Bobby, he's just doing DMs. I'd put him on discovery calls as well. Mm-hmm. And then if that is crushing, I'd put him on sales calls as well, right? The first hire 1 to hire 10, should become the COO, in my opinion.
Right.
Right? Because he's the closest to you. He's going to spend the most time with you because he's the first hire. There's nobody else vying for attention. So I would move him up progressively on the ladder, on the sales team, preferably.
So that ladder you talked about, because me as the creator and the entrepreneur and the owner, I've leveled up 3 levels. Bobby's now leveled up a few levels. Yep. So now there's space for someone underneath Bobby.
Correct.
Right.
And so what we tell Bobby is, if you want to get out of your DM and DC roles, go find somebody that you can train. Go find your replacement.
So you put it on Bobby?
Oh, we put it on Bobby.
Bro.
Because we need him to be a leader as well.
Bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Bobby now.
Yeah.
And you're chess community owner. Mm-hmm. Dude, this is an amazing opportunity. I'm super excited. How do I find somebody like me?
Great question, dude. Let's put out a post in our community, and why don't you ask some of your friends who also have businesses and see if they have anybody that they refer. Cool?
Sounds good.
Cool. Let me know who you find.
Okay. Hey, chess community owner. There's 3 people that have booked on a call for me from different sources. Like, what should I look for whenever I interview these people later?
Yeah. Absolutely. Great question. So I actually recorded myself hiring you and all the thought processes that I was going through when hiring you. Watch this and then message me with any questions. I send them the interview that they go through memory lane of exactly the questions that I asked. And I say, now go do the interview like I did it. And then if they're good, send them through to me. I'll do a final check, sign off, and we'll be good to go. And then you can train him. And then he starts training. We also do weekly calls. So I'm jumping on, making sure that this guy's getting everything that he needs. I add him on the side. If I'm the chess community owner, I say, hey, if you need anything, you let me know. I've only got 2 employees. It's very easy for me to chat with both of them. So I give them the love. And then Bobby becomes the main point of contact for Bobby Jr. So I'm not actually spending much more time.
Right. So now I'm at a point as chess community owner where I actually don't need to do any DMs.
Yep.
I don't need to do any discovery calls. And a few months go down the line, and now Bobby's even doing my closing calls.
Yeah.
So all I'm doing now is I'm focused on delivering value to the community and the marketing.
Yeah.
This feels really, really good.
It's really fun.
Dude, I don't have to do DMs. My calendar's not cluttered with sales calls, and the customers keep coming in.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because all you have to do as the chess community owner is create content and work with your clients. And if you're getting sick of working with your clients, maybe you do one-on-one fulfillment. What you could do is have an offer where for the first 2 to 4 days, you hire a coach, give them a base pay of, 10% of 15%, but a base amount of the product price. They do the fulfillment for 2 to 4 days, and then you just run community calls once a week or twice a week. So the only fulfillment you're doing is those 1 or 2 calls. You're not getting bogged down with one-on-ones, filling your schedule.
So as every single person is moving up the ladder, they're actually doing fewer and fewer things, but they're doing them better and they're doing them more leveraged.
We want every single person to be in their zone of genius, and we want every single person to master one thing.
So Benny, it's me, chess community owner here. Thanks so much for all the coaching that you're giving me here. I'm really glad I paid for that high ticket program so you could walk me through this. There you go. You like that?
Oh, that's great. That's great. 5K on Skool annual. Amazing.
So, how do I start structuring like pay for these guys as they become more and more valuable to me? Like how do I keep them? And, I'm afraid I don't want to give them too much, but like I don't want to give them too little. It's like, could you just walk me through how do you pay your people from the very beginning as they progress through the organization?
Such a good question. If you can, I would love to start out a DM setter at 5% because they can get upgraded from 5 to then 6% the second month. And if they're really crushing it, put them at that 7.5%.
And 5% of what? 5%
of the commission of the sales that they are attributed to. So if they book somebody in and then they close, you're getting 5% of that.
Cool.
Yeah, we do 7.5%. So if you can get up to 7.5%, please do that. The better you pay people, the more they'll stick around. For a discovery call, we're doing 2.5% commission. 10-minute calls, easy 2.5%. There's no room for growth there except for moving to a closer. Closer is 10%. With those numbers, if you're growing your business properly, people should make more money every single month.
Right.
So you don't need to increase commission. You just need to make more content.
I just need to do my job, which is to be the guy that goes and makes the content and gets the people.
Exactly. Get the
Then
people.
you get real clear on what your responsibility is, and there's just less wiggle room to like mess around and not do the work that moves the needle.
Yeah, you can't get shiny object syndrome because you got 2 people who are waiting for leads.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, come on, go make the content. So it's great.
You don't pay people a salary, it's just commission?
No, just commission because we're entrepreneurs. We don't want employee mindset. We actually call people as we acquire them, we sign them. It's like a basketball team, right? We want the best players on the team. Ted used to be in school and he would just write all the cool kids on a list. He's big on lists. So we look for the coolest people and we acquire them. Yeah. And then the coaches, what we pay coaches is a base fee because you can just take on a client and it's very easy. It's simple fulfillment. They're not in the sales force. They're not doing anything actively to close. So we don't do that. We do pay 25% for our coaches or anybody on our team that refers somebody. So if you want to get a part of that, then you can just refer somebody by leveraging your own social media. But if you're doing coaches, then you want to do a base fee.
Okay. So you said lots and lots of gems there. So I'm just going to zoom in on a few of them. First thing you said is that your coaches aren't part of the sales at all.
No.
Why do I not want Bobby to be a closer and a coach?
Yeah, this is really, really good. I'm actually glad you brought this up. So there's divine masculine, divine feminine, right? When I'm getting coaching, I need somebody patient. I'm paying you because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I want that woman energy. I want that divine feminine energy to patiently coax me through the process and allow myself to be cared for. And I want her to hold space for me so I can come to the revelations that I need to. Feminine energy is not going to close, right? When you're in your masculine and the closing side, people are telling you no every single day. People are telling you shut up every single day. People are saying, I'm not answering that question every single day. That's why closers get paid so well. It's because we just get told no, like a lot, and we're happy about it. We're like, oh yeah, no problem. Next. Right. So we keep them separate because a coach is telling people what to do and a closer is listening to people. Funny enough. So if you're a really good coach, you're going to have a lot of trouble closing because you're going to hear these people tell you their problems and you're going to be like, oh dude, don't worry, just go do this, this, this. And you'll give them 5 minutes of advice. They'll get off the call. try and implement 5 minutes of advice, and they probably will fail. They probably will fail because it's a 5-minute advice call and then their life doesn't change. Let's say it's a chess program. They don't get better at chess. Their family don't end up getting them into college and they get super duper depressed. Instead, what a closer needs to do is listen, hold space, let them to fully realize their pain, let them fully realize their dream, and then lay out a path for them to achieve that dream, and then let them take the action, which is usually buying the program that is much longer than 5 minutes. It's usually 90 days where they fully realize the result and go forward and crush it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling really good. My community is, we're up to 20K a month now with our team of 3.
Wow.
I came to you and I was like, dude, this is good, but there's a lot of people in my community who want more. Like they want like really personalized one-on-one coaching from me. And you encouraged me to do a high ticket offer. So now I've got a 10K chess program. It's like, are you at 1,000 ELO and you want to hit 1,500 in the next year? This program is the one for you. And that's cool. So now I got my first customer at 10K and I go through that and I get 3 customers and I'm the one doing all the fulfillment. And I'm like, dude, I'm sick of this. I'm ready to hire a coach. Where do you hire that coach from? And did you say, what's the commission you paid them?
We pay them a base. So you're probably going to want to do something like, 5% for each client, but it's not a percentage base. You just do the math. So if you have a program for $10,000, you'd probably pay them like $500 each client, right? Yep. And then they could stack up, 10 clients each month, do 5K a month, no problem. It's guaranteed work. It's no refunds, no BS, no getting told no close rate.
Dude, they just hop on the call and help people.
Call and fulfill.
That's all they do.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So would I move Bobby into that coach position?
No. So this is a really good question. You're going to build up this is where you're building sectors. Mm-hmm. So the sales force is a separate sector than the coaching force. Now, if Bobby has the free time, if Bobby now has Bobby Jr. to run the closing, if Bobby wanted to, he could go out and find a coach that he resonates with and then walk them through the process. This is actually better for the chess owner to do because the chess owner understands exactly what the product should be.
Right. So keep Bobby on the sales team.
Yeah.
I'll go and I'll find someone who I know probably also is like 2,000 ELO. Maybe it's like won a couple of chess tournaments, knows how to do it, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool. And what's cool about the one-on-one is you don't need someone who is super, super advanced.
Right.
You just need someone who can go through the program. I'd put them through the program, understand it, and then teach it. So if Bobby did want to do it, if you want Bobby to be your COO, then yeah, you could run him through the program. Right? Everybody who joins your team should probably go through the program, know exactly the ins and outs so they can talk about it well. I would run Bobby through the program and then I'd say, okay, do you want more responsibility? Go find a coach.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's what's cool about the Bobby. If it's really you, then Bobby's going to have a lot of responsibility. That's what a COO is. That's the next step for Bobby. The closing is the top of the sales force. But after that is, okay, well, now you've built out this sector. Time to go conquer. Genghis Khan in this, right? Go figure out how to run that and usually figure it out together with your Bobby because you're giving Bobby all the time. Yeah. You're spending a lot of time, hopefully one-on-one with Bobby. You're getting on Zoom calls. You're always using him as your number one mentee. So you could easily build with him and help him build out that coaching program, no problem.
Yeah. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Alex dropped something nuts at the last mastermind. He was giving someone a little bit of advice. They were like, I have my sales guys are also doing customer success. And Hermosi like nearly pulled his beard out.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, don't do that. Yeah. I was like, why? It's because if you get a lot of negativity on the coaching, dude, I'm struggling with this program. This program really, really sucks. Why is that a problem for your sales team?
Oh, they're going to get discouraged. So a big part of our culture is every single week, we bring on somebody who's been through our program and they meet with the sales team and they take like 10 to 15 minutes, tell us how they like the program. And of course, we're picking people who are actually like crushing it. And they come in and they go, oh, this was amazing. Sometimes they go, yeah, I needed an hour extra of one-on-one support. We're like, cool. Okay, we'll make sure to do that from now on. So we get live feedback from all of the clients that come through our program. And then of course, we have a client wins section where every single day we're looking at success stories and we're getting our team knowing like we're really changing lives out here. Yeah, you do not want to have a client success manager who's a closer, because the client success manager gets message from people who are having a tough day, right? Maybe their dad's sick and they're like, yeah, because of that, I'm now going to reach out and complain about this program, right? Because people are humans. So we have a separate client success. I'm the client success manager, right? Because I run everything.
Yeah, because you lose your conviction then.
You can lose your conviction.
And what you're selling.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I don't want to close another 10K customer because like look at that guy. Like that guy's having problems.
Yeah.
And I don't feel good about this.
Yeah.
And then your whole energy
shifts.
Yeah, shifts totally.
Yeah. Yeah. We're really good with our team because our program is like insane. It's so good. Mm-hmm. And so our results are just really, really good. So I kind of break that rule as, yeah, I do close. Yes, I do coach. Yes, I do client success manage. Eventually as we grow, right? Because this is a good point to make as well. If you're doing 20K a month, you're probably not going to delegate every single one of these things. So the person that should be doing it should either be the COO that is just you 2 years ago and you know that they can handle it, because not everybody can handle somebody screaming at you.
Right.
Or it should be you. It should be you as the CEO. You're going to do all of this extraneous stuff until you can find somebody you can truly trust to take it and not break.
So for you, it's like you're currently doing like customer success. You're also doing the handling and closing. You're doing all that. What big word did you use? Extraneous?
Extraneous?
Extraneous. Yeah. It's like,
I looked that up in the dictionary.
That down? I was like, whoa. Your job is to then continue to replicate yourself and outsource yourself and like keep climbing up that ladder.
Yeah, I got to find the highest leverage activity for myself and everybody on the team so that we can continue to crush it. Like you said, like each person should be in their zone of genius.
So what would you say your zone of genius is?
I love people, which is funny because I'm an introvert. Like it really drains the heck out of me.
Me too, bro.
Yeah. We relate over this.
I had to lie down after that Ireland trip, bro.
Dude, I got sick. Dude, you and me both. I was sitting at home just laying on the couch for a day straight. Just breathing.
Yeah, my soul was tired, bro. Yeah.
But that's my zone of genius, is holding space for people. It's such a beautiful thing.
So what does that actually look like in the business?
On the team side, it's, having those honest and uncomfortable conversations, right? We've got, everybody has problems in their life. We've got kids that are really trying to break their families out of some stuff, right? And like they've never been in an opportunity like this and they're terrified they're going to mess it up. And that can show up. Like they're so hungry and so determined that they want to succeed that they're starting to fail. So it's having that conversation. It's like, yo, is everything okay? A lot of tears shed, in a group full of men, right? Of holding space. It's healing from trauma. If you're an entrepreneur, you've probably been through something that pushed you, that woke you up to this level of consciousness to step outside the matrix and see what's going on and do something differently. So it's having those conversations. With clients, it's the same. It's like when you shift to be a coach, it's a big choice. When you're done being in the 9 to 5, it's not like your 9 to 5 energy, who you used to be, just disappears. There's still so much toxicity. There's still so much programming that's within you. So it's just holding space for people to let that out and help them guide it away from themselves and step into the next stage of their life. It's a lot of conversations, a lot of listening.
A lot of listening.
Yeah.
So you said that most entrepreneurs have had something that has woken them up. What was that for you?
That's a good question. I was very young when I woke up. I grew up the only black kid in a all white area because my dad came up in a very, very bad area and worked very hard to get out of it and build a family out of it. And I was not treated the same as the other kids. And all the kids would always ask me, you adopted, right? Because your daddy's black and you don't look black, and your mama's white and you don't look white. What are you? And the teachers would always tease me. And I just kind of, after getting yelled at by enough teachers, telling me to shut up and sit down, I realized that they didn't have it figured out either. And I didn't want to be a part of it. Like at 7 years old, I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this. And I realized the world wasn't fair. And that's what woke me up, is realizing, you know, the world was not fair. And it was very, very lonely because nobody else was awake, you know. I don't know when most people wake up consciously, but you're mostly not going to find entrepreneurs that are unconscious. But it was very, very early for me. And so from 7 to 14, I was very lonely until I got kicked out of school. Fighting, I was suicidal. I used to fall asleep with a pillowcase on my head. I always look back at how silly that was. I'm like, maybe I'll just not wake up. 14-year-old logic. And then they put me in a school with a bunch of black people, a bunch of Dominicans, like, que lo que tranquilo, tú sabes, papi, like a bunch of problem children. And I immediately felt a part of something, but I also felt very depressed because they grew up in the hood. They grew up in very bad situations where I would go home to a safe home and they would go home to a place where they're going to get shot. They're going to go to jail. They're going to overdose on drugs. They're going to deal some drugs. And so I spent a lot of time following other men because I was scared to be a man myself. I didn't want the responsibility, knowing that I could lead these people out of the situation they currently were, because I would have to be a leader, and I didn't want that responsibility. I didn't want to play life. For 2 decades, I did not want to play life. I refused to play life, and I wanted to kill myself until I realized that I just needed to kill the part of myself that wanted to kill itself. And that's when I took responsibility at 18, and I started smiling even though I wasn't happy. And the funniest thing happened. A year later, I felt a little bit happier. And then 2 years later, I was like, oh, this is actually, I'm feeling pretty good. 5 years later of just fake smiling, I was happy. And 10 years later, I like walk into the room and people are like, this guy's, what's wrong with him? He's so happy. He's like absurdly happy. And I'm just overjoyed. I'm just very, very happy to be here. So I hacked my brain. My trauma was I didn't enjoy the way that life was being orchestrated. I still don't enjoy, you know, the way life is being orchestrated, but I do recognize that everybody has a choice. And we can't help everybody. We can only help the people that are actively trying to help themselves. And that's it for me, man.
What made you start smiling at 18?
Myself. I realized that, dude, frowning didn't work. Like I did the frowning. I tested it myself.
Split test.
Yeah,
you got the
test.
results back. You're
Shout
like,
out Daniel
fam.
Bizanetti, right? I tried it. And so I said, screw it. I'm just going to try and smile and see if that changes. Because I started listening to freaking like Alan Watts.
Bro.
Like, yeah, I found Alan Watts.
Yes, sir.
And like Bob Proctor and Jim Rohn. I started listening to these people and they would spit knowledge, and I really like that philosophy. You don't find that as a kid. There's nowhere that you just like chance upon that. So when I found it on YouTube, I clung deeply to it, and it made sense deep in my soul, right? Those philosophies helped me quite a bit as a young man figuring out, you know, what the next step should be. I just programmed myself.
Your favorite movie is The Aviator?
I love The Aviator.
I watched it.
You watched it?
I watched it for you. I watched it for this. And that movie is all about a guy who everyone around him doesn't think he can do it. And he goes and he does it.
Again and again and again and again.
Constantly.
Yeah. But you know one of my favorite parts about it?
Tell me.
He's crazy.
There's a scene where he's in a room.
Yeah.
And he's been locked in that room. He locked himself in that room for an unspeakable amount of time.
Yeah.
And he's crazy.
Yeah.
His beard is out. He's lined up all of the milk bottles that he's pissing in against the wall. And he's locked in there.
Yeah. And the movie continues. And he gets crazier. And you know what's even more powerful about that? He doesn't get better. And there's a part of my being that really resonates with that, because I do feel crazy, right? And man, to be right and to build something so beautiful, you also have to have that side of yourself that is evil and can break things as well. And if you're not going to break things outside of yourself, then you often end up breaking down yourself. And I love that. And there's some part of me that glorifies somebody who does so much good in the world at the expense of his own life.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's just egotistical going out in a blaze of glory, right? But I don't know, there's just that part of me. It's like he did so much for the world. And then he just descended into madness.
For me, I feel like that room, I feel like you've been in that room.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah, I love that room.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where the growth happens. That's where the magic happens. For the last 2 years, since January 1st, 2023, when I started with TED, I've just been at home with my girlfriend and sitting in that room for 2 years straight. Just handling everything, learning, right? Going through my metamorphosis. Because 2 years ago, I was not this. I did not have the skills necessary to do any of this. If you took me 2 years ago and put me and said, do what you're doing now, I would crumble. So I've just been in that room, going crazy.
Yeah, because that's where the work happens.
That's where the work happens. You got to drive yourself. Like it's a little crazy to want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of pressure. There's people's lives in your hands. And I think that's my favorite part about it. And that brings me back to my childhood is, dude, I didn't like the way that people were treating each other. It was not right. Teachers weren't treating each other right. Kids weren't treating each other right. Still, people don't treat each other right. So now I get to work in a business where I make sure you're sure as heck going to treat each other right.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to treat you right.
Right.
We're going to not only deliver your product and your results and the how, we're going to hold space for you so that you can truly heal. That's why our business is different.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're the best. We're like, they call us the woo-woos, like, because we're like, yeah, man. So like, how's your family? It's like, dude, I just paid to learn how to build a business. Yeah. We're like, are you eating all right? Maybe you should cut out meat. Are you a fruitarian? Right? It's like,
yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. I'm a big believer that in the life of a hero, at the start of the journey, the hero is given an opportunity to go on the quest and they don't do it because they can't do it. Actually, I think that's an important part, is you're given the opportunity to move into your zone of genius and you don't do it. And then later on in life, it re-emerges and you have the chance to do it again. I think it's very interesting, like just reflecting back. It's very interesting that whenever you started going to that second school, you wanted to heal the people around you. You wanted to lead them, but you couldn't and you didn't. And now you're doing it.
Yeah.
10 years later or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like that opportunity came back again and now you're doing it.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same mission. And it's like, you know, Moses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I've heard the name.
You heard that guy? So Moses is like in Egypt, in Pharaoh's household, something like a prince, we don't really know. And his people are hurting, like they're in slavery. And he's the chance to do something and he just fumbles it. Kills a dude and then has to leave, like has to get out of there. And then he's in the wilderness, which is that room in the aviator that you talked about. And he's in the wilderness for like something ungodly, like 40 years plus. And then he gets the invitation to come back and free his people.
Mm.
And there's just something about that redemption story where, you know, we're all here in business to make money. But I mean, I just believe, and I have a hunch that you do too, it's like we're all just in the business of transforming people's lives. And the chess community is just a Trojan horse. You know, it's just a way to get in through the door.
Yeah.
Talk to me about head, heart, hands.
Yeah, man, it's the ultimate pyramid scheme.
We're talking about Egypt. We're talking about Moses.
So this is one of my favorite charts, right? You go to all of these different events and you see so many charts. And this one is my favorite. So at the very, very bottom, you're going to have, and this is if you want to run $1 million business, this is if you want to be the most successful you've ever been, right? End result here. I'll show you how. At the bottom, you have your health. It's so, so important. When you're sick, bro, when you're sick, what do you want? When you're coughing on the couch, you can't even move, you're sweating profusely. What do you want at that moment?
You just want to be free, bro.
Just want to be free. You want to be better, right? You can't focus on anything else if you're sick. So at the bottom, we always focus on our health. Right above that, and you and I are both men of God, right? I truly don't believe that businesses will flourish if there's evil intentions behind it. So the second step is understanding that you're in line with God or your religion or whatever you need to do to clean out your heart, right? Because people can feel that. We talk to people all the time. They say, I'm buying for you. I'm buying for your vibe. I'm buying because you're holding space for me. That all comes from here. So we talk to our team and we talk to our clients of cleaning out their heart. Once your heart is there, once you're in line with God, once God is working through you, now we can move on to, okay, how's your head, right? What is your self-talk? For me, I learned that at 18. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to pretend to smile. I'm just going to give myself insane, happy self-talk until I'm insanely happy. Golly, it works, right? So we work on our head. We make sure we're listening to people. Our diet of information is positive. Okay, now you're healthy, right? So you have the energy to do what you need to do. Your heart is pure, so you know that you're working with God. He is working through you, so you don't have any of that guilt. Number 3, your head, your self-talk is awesome, so people can feel your energy. You are now a conduit. You are now a catalyst. People are falling towards you. They're like, I don't know what it is. You're pulling me in. Next, it's your hands, right? And that's what I've just done for the last 2 years is, okay, what is the skill that you're going to share to help other people? This is very important. You cannot go and sell a high ticket or a low ticket. You could sell a little bit of a low ticket, but you can't sell huge amounts of programs if it's valueless. So you need to actually be able to get somebody the end result that they want. If you're a 200 ELO chess, you probably shouldn't start a chess community, right? You should probably get to like 500, 800, 1,000, and then you can show people how to get there. So this is where your skills come in. Shout out Patrice with the copywriting, right? Then at the very tippity top, you've got the skill. Let's say you're an amazing chess player. You're really, really good. You're in great shape. You believe in God. You're happy. Your self-talk is amazing. That's when you should go and figure out how you're going to scale this business, how you're going to make this a reality. The how is the least important part, but of course it's a part of it. Now you have all of the skills necessary to figure out how to make this a reality. And what we were talking with Benita about a second ago is like, dude, once you've got all the base of the pyramid, the how comes to you. Like it's magical. It just like pops up. Ted Carr says the same thing. He says, you never know when you're going to get that one phone call with the opportunity to change your life.
Bro.
If you just do all of those other things, the how will be revealed.
It's so true.
Yeah.
But you have to become the type of person that can answer that phone call.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to think of opportunity as a bus, right? And when the doors open, there's a gap, right? And you have to have done the work. You have to have the leg strength to jump with all your baggage onto the bus. And if you haven't done the work, right, then you're going to miss that jump and opportunity is going to go away. Right? If you haven't, you can even use the metaphor as like it's a bus and you need coins. If you haven't saved up that money and you go to get on the bus, they're like, dude, you don't have your ticket. Can't get on the bus. You got to do the work all below that how in the pyramid so that when the how opportunity presents itself, you can go, yeah, no problem, ching, and you're on. And you're off to the races.
That foundation, I think, is very important. So even whenever you were talking about the coins in the bus, I was thinking, okay, imagine that I am Jimmy.
What up, Jimmy?
And I'm listening to this podcast. I'm like, dude, I know who my Ted Carr is. I know who the guy is that I want to work with. Imagine the scenario where he responds to the DM. He said, Jimmy, I've been looking for somebody. You're the one. Come meet me in Chicago. And you don't have enough money to go to Chicago.
Better get yourself a loan.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
When you have a baseline, just gives you like ways to move.
Yeah, like imagine in that scenario, the person, little Jimmy, had just spent his money on some drugs.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to take care of my health today. I'm just going to spend it on drugs. And then the opportunity comes and he spent the money on drugs, can't go.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take care of everything else, the opportunity comes, you're ready.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Mark, who you've met.
I love Mark.
Mark's a great guy.
He's the man. Shout out you, Mark. I love him.
Used to run the agency with me before, we sold and we joined Skool. We talked about everything. And, I have a book. And in the book, I have my list of priorities. And they're connected to goals. Each priority has a goal, blah, blah, blah. And I came back from... went to like a monastery and did like a silent retreat sort of thing, and I came back and I had like reordered a few things on my list, and we somehow got talking about it. And for me, always in my life, it was like God first, then my wife, then my kids, then my business, then my health, blah, 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 and it goes down and down and down. And I came back from that time and actually put health at the top of the list.
Wow.
And Mark was kind of like, dude, what are you doing?
God's number one, bro.
Yeah,
How dare you?
But that's the thing. Like, dude, God's first. Like, why on earth would you do that? And through probably 10 years of split testing, I just realized that like if my dopamine system is messed up, I can't even do the practices to bring me close to God.
Yeah.
Or if my health is crazy, or if things are totally out of whack, I can't show up. I can't be the husband that I want to be. I can't be the father I want to be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think just like there are not more than 5 things in your life that you need to do. It's like literally one hand sort of stuff that if you just do that, it'll work.
Yeah.
And that's why I love your pyramid scheme.
And that's what's so funny is I truly believe life is easy. I truly believe that it doesn't have to be that hard. You can get so freaking rich, right? You can find the woman of your dreams. You can go and accomplish what you want to accomplish. I truly believe it's easy. Like, I don't know if you've seen Ted, but he makes it look really easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you follow Ted around, it's like, dude, your day is dope.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wake up, you hop on a call with a client, you drive and hang out with Sam Ovens for a bit, you eat a banana, right? Go to the gym.
Eat 29 more bananas.
But then you go to bed and that's it. And he's bringing in millions.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that life is so much easier and we're fed this programming that it's like, it's difficult.
But you know what the difficult part is? It's trying not to do things that are outside of that list of 5.
Yeah. That's where the destruction comes in.
That's where we self-sabotage.
Yeah. That's why I cut out drinking. That's why I don't smoke. That's why I have my girlfriend who's soon to be my wife. I'll have her, have my kids. That's it. Keep it so simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be here without her either. You know? And that's a beautiful thing as well, balancing business with the people that you love. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of having a super awesome business and all this money if you don't have somebody to share it with? And you don't have kids to instill the same virtues that allowed you to help these people? Like, why are we doing this?
Dude, what would it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?
Amen.
Yeah.
It's deep.
It's good, bro.
How has your wife helped you on your journey into the position that you're in now? I'll even make it better. High stakes. Would you be in this position if you weren't married?
Oh, forget about it, dude. Oh, forget about it. Yeah. So, yeah, there's multiple bits on just that alone. The first bit is I would have just nosedived head first into the chaos without my wife, right? I don't even know what vice it would have been, but I would have found one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like Peterson's thing where he says responsibility is good for a man, and that responsibility just means carrying something heavy.
Yeah.
And, you know, whenever I stood in front of all my friends and family and I made my vows to my wife, it's like, it was very heavy and it was very serious. And so that just stops me from making a lot more stupid decisions than I would have made without her. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is just very practically, it's like what you were talking about your team. It's like the goal of the leader is to make the dreams come true of the people that are following them, right? And so when I married my wife, I was like, what's my wife's dream? My wife's dream is to be a full-time stay-at-home mum. And so, bro, that fire just was under me. And when we moved back to Ireland, so, we lived in New York City, we worked with drug addicts and homelessness. We just had when people say they have no money, it's like we had no money. Classic. And I was working as a bike messenger and I was making like $7 an hour. And I was a gardener and I was making $6 an hour as a gardener. And my wife was like bringing home the bacon. Like my wife she's a couple of years older. She had a skill. She was a nurse. She was able to go and like make money. And I knew that my time was ticking, bro. I was like, I've got like 2 to 3 years until not only I have to like match my wife's income, but I have to like replace her income as well. So it's like, I have 2 salaries that I need to cover in the next 2 to 3 years. And so that financial necessity is what drove me to entrepreneurship, really.
And when you were doing that, were you operating out of like anger, urgency, scarcity, or were you operating out of love? What was the energy? What was the emotion?
Like, to be totally honest with you, I think it like flitted between the two. Yeah. There was times where I was scared. And I still remember, like, there's a conversation we always joke about, me and Jackie, where I remember sitting on the sofa and I was just like desolate. I was like, I don't know if I can make the business work. And she literally turned around to me and she says, you do realize you could just get a job? And I was like, I didn't even consider it. Like, I was so focused. I was like, it's like make or break. This is it. Like, retire Jackie or die trying. And I was just so locked in. So there was times where it operated out of, there was fear involved, but like the overall driver was love. It's like, I want to do this for you because I love you. And so like, I'm going to find a way to make it work. And then you go through all of the options, like you said at the start, boom, boom. I also was a copywriter for a while. So you keep ticking things off your list till you find a thing, and then you focus, and then you go on the journey.
That's one of the funniest things that I found is my first decade of making music from like, I don't know, 18 to then 23. It was all out of spite. It was all out of anger. It was like, watch this, guys. I'm going to go get rich and then die this glorious death and leave it all to my family because screw you guys. Like, I'm just going to go and make this money and I'm going to be the best. And I was grinding and I wasn't making like any progress. My skills were increasing, but I was not having anything to show for it. And then when I met Felicity and I fell in love with her, I realized that I wasn't allowing myself to be loved. And then I wasn't in return doing it out of love. I was doing it out of the wrong thing. And I love making music, but I was doing it like I hated it. And so everything changed when I accepted the love into my heart and I allowed myself to be vulnerable and to be loved. And then I just got rich.
Yeah.
And then my health like went way up and like everything changed. And so that was, and of course I was still stressed. Like I still get stressed.
Of course.
Right? But the main operator that I'm in 99% of the time is this like blissful love state.
Right.
And then like the opportunities come where I just get like, hey, you're about to get X amount per month. Hey, you're about to get this opportunity. Hey, it's like, oh, wow, awesome. That's great.
But this is actually what I really wanted to talk about. That's why I brought up the pyramid to begin with. Purity. There's something about when you operate from a place of purity and in the thing that you do that's very, very powerful. So for me, it's like I can tell you exactly whenever my podcasting career started working was whenever it just became like all pure. Like when it became a place out of love instead of a place out of like anger or scarcity or I'm going to show these guys or whatever. It's like I can show you the episode when it happened.
Wow.
Like genuinely.
And tell me what you think about this. Did you ever feel like you were so unpure that it was impossible for you to get pure, so you might as well just stay unpure?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, show me a man who hasn't.
I didn't know that for so long. I thought like it's over for me. Like I've been impure. But now I live this life and I'm pure. Pure. Like I left God at like 14 and now I'm back and I'm here and it's like everything's gone and I feel pure. I didn't think that was possible. I thought it was like the cheese touch. Once it got you, like, no, it's there for life, forever.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's back to what you said of, you know, no matter what you've faced, you still have a choice.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not going to get pure by sleeping in the mud. You know, like, and the process can be very painful.
So painful.
Bro, you have to go and do you know what steel wool is? Is that a thing you say in America?
Steel wool. Yeah, it's the stuff that you can wash bowls with.
Yeah, like you got like something stuck on your pan and a sponge won't cut it.
Exactly.
You get that metal steel wool.
Yeah.
You scrub a dub.
Yeah.
Bro, it can be a process.
Yeah.
But it is possible.
Yeah.
And what I saw in you guys whenever we were hanging out at the Belfast Mastermind, I joked with you guys, it's like you guys are like a pure version of Fight Club.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You know, you guys are there, you're like cooking, you're like eating vegetables, you're like, it's like military operation, but like very, very pure.
Yeah.
And I just like, what do you think that brings to your business?
Love, man.
You guys are weird as hell.
We're so weird, dude. Because we can beat up anybody. Like we all fight. We all shoot guns, right? We all don't kill animals.
Yeah.
We don't eat meat.
Yeah.
We can run a sub 25K.
Yeah.
And we can hold a conversation with another man that'll make him break down in tears for 10 minutes straight. It's fast. Like I don't know any other team that has this combination. And it's awesome. Because we accept the whole spectrum of human emotion, the divine masculine and divine feminine. And we're okay with that. But if you talk shit, we'll punch you in the face.
But there is something about, you know, if I think about like the stuff that you've shared today, it's like Benny D used to live his life like this.
Yeah.
So the fist was closed.
Oh, big time.
Like really, really closed. And it like looks impressive and it's bold and it's scary and it's masculine. It's actually a thing from my granny. Classic. And my granny said to me, actually she told me this about money. She said if you like have your fist clenched with money, where you're just trying to hold on to your money, you're scared of losing your money. It's like, bro, you're never going to be able to receive the money that's put in your hand.
Yo, shout out to Granny.
Shout out to Granny G.
She's got bars.
Bro, if we could turn my granny into a rapper,
yeah,
bro,
it'd be over. ChatGPT can do that.
But it's the same with like what you said as well. It's like the emotion, the love. Like if you live your life with your fist closed, bro, watch me tie this. Are you ready? If you hold on to your business like this, and you're like, I'm not going to let anyone else into this thing. I'm not going to let anyone else into my DMs. No one could do my discovery calls. No one can do this. No one can do that. It's like, you will keep possibly what you have in your hands, but more likely it's going to leak out. It's like holding grains of sand. It's going to spill out. Yeah. No matter how hard you hold on to it, you're probably going to lose it. Yeah. You take that courage, because it is courage. You open that hand up. You give that young kid in the community a chance to do your DMs. You have that conversation where you're vulnerable about how you're feeling. Yeah. It's like, unspeakable things can be put in your hand and things that you would never have dreamed of. And that's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. And I want to come full circle of like, dude, we run a 7-figure a year business. Like, I know we've been talking woo-woo stuff the whole time, but like, we run a 7-figure a year business that's going to be doing 7 figures a month very, very soon. Yeah. And we operate the day-to-day, like we run it. So I don't know. It's so funny when I talk about this stuff because I'm like, oh, people aren't going to find this useful. It's like, we're probably making more money than the 99% of the people that watch it. That's what's so funny to me is this is the stuff that I choose to talk about and you choose to talk about as well. And we're making more money than 99% of the population of the world.
Yeah, bro.
And they all get angry and go, give me the good stuff. I'm like, this is the good stuff, man.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. What do you say? 170K?
We're at 175,000 cash collected in the last 25 days.
So you still got like
we're going to do
6
200K.
days.
Yeah, we're going to do over 200K.
Is this your best month?
This is our best month.
You know what's so funny to me about that? It's your best month. And you and Ted and Amanda are like flying to Ireland. You're like hanging out in a sauna with me on the beach. We're like masterminding with like 50 people, like going about their offers. And this is your best month.
Yeah, we stayed up till 10 p.m. last night playing Super Smash Bros. Because Daniel Bezanetti kept smacking me again and again. I'm so competitive. He beat me like 8 times in a row. Amon beat me 4 times. I wouldn't allow them to go to bed until I won my game. And I'm like, all right, I'm out. I'm done. So we're running this business in a way where we're helping all these people. They're getting insane results. We're all making them more money than they ever made. And we still have time for family. We still have time to eat healthy, take care of ourselves, and go to Ireland and host events with you. Like, this is the way a business should be built. It should be built around your life, not building your life around your business. Depending on how you want to live your life. If you want your life to be your business, okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. But I want my life to have a little bit more more mass, more meaning, more diversity. Like Ireland.
Like Ireland.
Like Ireland.
Ready for the close?
Let's close. I love to close.
Let's see.
Okay, but by making a decision today.
What do you think you're holding on to too tightly?
I believe that I could share more freely myself with the world. I believe that, you know, as long as everything is getting done, I don't need to speak. And I had a conversation with somebody at the Ireland Mastermind that said, yeah, when you speak, it's beautiful, but you don't speak. So I think I'm holding on still of being vulnerable and showing my true self. So I think I need to let go and honestly talk to people more. Yeah. And if I think for a second, I could give you a second. But that one's really good.
No, that's the one.
That's the one?
No.
Did we hit it?
How I want you to spend your second is, like, why?
Because it hurts. Being vulnerable. You're an INFJ, right? You're a feeler. You're an intuitive feeler.
ENFP.
ENFP. My mother's an ENFP.
There you go.
I am an INTJ, technically a thinker. I'm actually an INFJ.
Right.
I don't allow myself to feel because I know how bad feelings can be. So one of the reasons I don't share myself is because I'm terrified to feel fully because I feel at such a depth. Yeah.
Bro, when you have that F sensitivity, you get to sample the full menu of life.
Huh.
But the problem is, you get to sample the full menu of all the feelings.
It's like Birdie Bot's every flavor bean, bro. I had a booger flavor and I didn't want one ever again, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, the temptation is to close it off.
Yeah.
But you'll be surprised what will be in your hand whenever you open it.
Yeah. That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working to be a better Benny D, is being more vulnerable and feeling more.
Love it, bro.
Yeah.
How can people work with you?
You can hit us up on Skool.
How can you help people?
Yeah, we help people get their product outline and product build set up. Like, if you don't know what you're going to offer, but you know you want to help people, that's the first thing we do. We get clarity. Number 2, we got to figure out, where are you reaching people? Hopefully it's on the Skool Games podcast. But if you're not there yet, then second would be like figuring out what social media you want to use and showing you exactly how to build it. And then 3 is like what we're talking about here, is building out your automated sales system so that you can maintain your life while simultaneously growing the business to the level that you want it to be at.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm the chess community owner, like, can you help me?
Oh, absolutely.
Help me build my team.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you, Penny?
Yeah.
The way I talk to you today.
Yes. We can go deep and we'll tell you the how. You can hit me up on Skool. That's the best place to be. That's where all the cool kids are, right?
Bro, it's according to Ted Carr's list anyway.
Yeah. The guy knows a thing or two, eh?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Bro, I loved it. Glad we had the chance to do this and go these places. It was fun.
Thanks for having me.
Bro, appreciate you.
Love you.
I love you too.